Welcome to Coach's Corner Wednesday edition. I'm your host, Coach Tripp. Thanks for joining this short segment. On Wednesday nights, we do the Bear Facts, and we learn a little bit about Coach Bear Bryant's coaching styles and philosophies. This segment subject is titled Coaching the Details, brought to you by Ronnie's Car Wash. In this segment, we take an in-depth look at Coach Paul Bear Bryant's philosophies. He understood that it wasn't just about the X's and O's. It was about the Johnnies and the Joes. This week, we tackle how to coach a detail. Small bits of information, if ignored or disregarded, can bring down the ship. Today in the Bear Facts, we dig deep into the meaning of the cliche, doing the little things makes the big difference. In other words, if you don't take time to cover details, you will eventually fail. There are so many different physical movements and mental game scenarios that can arise at unpredictable times. That is why all sports practice should be scripted down to the minute. After playing and coaching football for over 40 years, I've witnessed thousands of practices and have observed hundreds of coaches. The coaches that waste time and have assistants that don't take the time to go into minute details of the position will foul their players. The coaches teach the details that do teach them win, period. Let's find out how Coach Bryant believed in covering fine details and not wasting time in practice. Yeah, this is true. The story of how Coach Bryant observed ant hills in Africa while stationed there on guard duty in World War II. He observed that no ant wasted any time working, watching another ant. Every ant was doing something, working all the time. Nobody stood around and watched, and that's how Coach Bryant organized his practices. That's a Bear fact. It isn't also a fact that he adopted his style of organizing team practices, scheduling, observing these large ant hills. But show me a man who cannot bother to do the little things, and I'll show you a man who cannot be trusted to do the big things. Matthew 25:21 said, if you have been faithful and trustworthy over a little, I'll put you in charge of much. A lot of information comes from Dr. Galen McCullough, one of Bryant's players, as well as his physician and friend. Also, the author of The Long Shadow of Coach Paul Bear Bryant. I suggested reading this book by Phil Savage and Ray Glyer. They explain the process that Coach Saban is known for. Coach Saban goes into such minute detail that it would boggle your mind. The book is called Fourth and Goal Every Day. Sometimes there's a risk of giving too much information and slowing down the athlete, and now he has paralysis by analysis. However, if you take the time with the athlete and proceed with a slow, steady, unwavering pace, he or she will absorb so much more. Now, during these detailed practice sessions, a coach or a teacher must use this teaching protocol. Number one, explanation. Explain in a clear manner because communication's imperative. Number two, demonstration. You must physically show them the drill or the technique. 3, participation. Let them attempt the exercise. Number 4, correction. Tell them the good part, then correct the bad part in that order. And number 5, repetition. Practice a drill, not till you get it right. Practice it until you can't get it wrong. There's a huge difference. Muscle memory is the differential. If a coach or a teacher leaves out the demonstration part, which many coaches do, the learning is not as effective. Remember, some people are audio listeners and some people are visual learners. In the book, Chasing the Bear, author Lars Anderson captures how practices are run at Alabama with Nick Saban. Quote, the way Alabama practices is a huge part of Nick Saban's process, said Kurt Cignetti, the wide receiver coach at Alabama from 2007 to 2010. He said, quote, no one stands around. There's a lot of putting guys in game situations. It's all business. People are constantly on the move. I worked for Johnny Majors for 4 years at Pittsburgh, and Johnny came to watch a practice at Bama. Afterwards, he grabbed me and said, that was the most impressive practice I have ever seen. This is exactly the kind of practice that Coach Bryant conducted. The goal was always to make them harder than the game by instilling high-intensity, high-tempo, detailed practices. Coach Bryant was a gracious winner and loser, but Coach Bryant hated to lose. As a matter of fact, he would warn us about the awful details of losing and the details of facing your relatives afterwards. I remember him talking about the difference in winning and losing. Listening to his description, noted Dr. Gayla McCullough's book, The Victory in the Game of Life. Quote, after a loss, you make your way to the locker room, to the bus. First, the crowd will be smaller than if you had won. Your parents and girlfriend may be there, and your mama will hug you and say, I still love you. Your father will grasp your hand and say, that's okay, son, we'll get him next time. But pay close attention to the difference in the quality of the hugs and handshakes. Listen carefully for sincerity and pride in their voices. Your girlfriend will kiss you lightly, but there'll be no passion in her embrace. She may hold your hand while you walk with her, and she may not. Your folks will take you out to dinner and buy you a steak, but it won't taste very good. The people you ordinarily get out of their way to say hello will find reasons to avoid you. Unquote. Wow, for Coach Bryant to go into detail, such detail about win and a loss, had an impact. And for Coach Bryant, had an impact on all of us, from Dr. Michaela in the early 60s to me in the early 80s. So hope you learned something about coaching the details. It's another segment of Coach's Corner. Thanks for listening. I'm Coach Tripp. Don't forget, we are going to have this Saturday, Dr. Gayla McCullough is going to be our interview. So you don't want to miss that. That's going to be very interesting. Have a great night. We'll talk to you soon.
There's a reason why Hill Kelly in Pensacola is the #1 selling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer between Jacksonville and New Orleans. While other dealers have taken advantage of a competitive market with higher prices, Hill Kelly has discounted prices to the lowest of the year. And Hill Kelly in Pensacola won't surprise you with excessive charges beyond the selling price. Come see why people from Milton, Pace, Foley, Bay Minette, Daphne, Gulf Shores, Mobile, and beyond are driving to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to buy their next new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. At Hill Kelly, the bottom line price and your satisfaction are what really matter. So before you sign, check the bottom line and make the trip to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to see what true local ownership can do for you. At Hill Kelly Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Highway 29 in Car City, Pensacola. Or shop online 24/7 at hillkellydodge.com. When it comes to bottom line pricing, nobody beats a Hill Kelly deal. Nobody.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray, and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time. Arbitrium Consulting for all your fencing, landscaping, pressure washing, tree trimming needs. Call 850-483-0350 for your free estimates. Serving Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, Destin, Perdido, Gulf Shores, Foley, and the entire Gulf Coast. Arbitrium Consulting is owner-operated, fully licensed and insured. Call today, 850-483-0350, the official landscaper of Coach's Corner.
Hey, Bill, some game, huh?
I haven't really noticed, Paul.
What? The biggest game of the year?
I've been looking over my insurance. Talk about problems I'm trying to figure out.
Well, do what I did. Call the Seiler Agency. They showed me what I needed and what I didn't. They even saved me money. Now, instead of worrying about my insurance, I can worry about the big game.
Contact the Seiler Agency at 476-7443 for all of your insurance needs. Your independent agent for home, auto, boat, RV, commercial, general liability, life, and sound investment strategies. Call 476-7443 today.
Step one works so hard to get you in the perfect big car. Looking for a better car buying experience? With the Step 1 Advantage from Buick GMC, Fort Walton Beach, and Pensacola, receive no-hassle market-based pricing or incentives by pre-ordering. Looking to sell or trade? Our dedicated team will even come to you. Plus, every vehicle sold at Step 1 supports local charities right in your neighborhood. Experience the Step 1 Advantage at Buick GMC, Fort Walton Beach, and Pensacola today.